Right, so I found a queen cup and it's got an egg in it. So maybe, just maybe, the checkerboarding didn't work. Ah, found the queen, yes. So this is the oldest queen I've got and she's turned into a drone layer. I need to shake her out and I'm gonna... Hello everyone, it's Greg from Mystery Honey and welcome to my new van. I don't know if you've been following me on Facebook or anything like that, but I bought a van last week. My Volvo wasn't cutting it, so I thought I'd try a Transit Custom, see how that goes. Plenty of space, as you can see. All my gear fits in and there's plenty of space for hives and stuff, but I'm hoping to put like things along the sides, on the walls, you know, that toolbox that rolls around, there's no tomorrow. I've had to tether down because it was rolling around. I'd quite like all the tools in there to be like in boxes and stuff on the walls, but yeah, that's this year's project anyway, to try and kit this out so it's a proper bee van. But now I can take pretty much a whole apiary, so I can fit about 8 hives in here, if not more. So yeah, I'm chuffed with that. More on today though. Today, I don't really have any real goals. Other than checking for swarming and disease, that's it. So my inspections really shouldn't take that long. I'm just going to be blitzing through and dealing with any fires that break out. Something that I would like to do is check on the hive that I checkerboarded last week. I want to see where they're up to, see if they're filling out the bottom box, filling out those empty frames that I've put in there and see what they're like. And just give you guys an update as to what it looks like after checkerboarding has occurred. There's a spider right here. I'm just going to help you to the ground, buddy. Come here. Where on earth is your... There it is. There you go. It was right in my eye line. I also want to check on the nucs that I transferred into full-size hives. I put some supers on top of them. One was a brood box on one of them and 2 normal supers on the other one. They were just pure foundation, both the supers and the brood box that I put on top of them. I'd quite like to see how they filled them out. Now, I think the flow around here is starting to die out because the majority of the dandelions are now spent. So what was a field of gold because of the dandelions is now a field of white because they're all started to germinate. There are still bits of dandelion here and there, and the thing with dandelions is that they always keep coming back. So they'll do this, well, they'll spread, and then all the seeds that are here will start growing and they'll spread again. So I don't have to worry too much. Dandelions last throughout the whole year. They just keep coming back and coming back and coming back. We have some of this stuff as well, which the bees really love. And the wildflower meadow over there is just about to start exploding with flowers. So although this has started to die out, I think there's going to be a good flow coming from that way over there, but I'm not sure. I think the weather needs to pick up again. It's gone really cloudy, it's rained for a couple of days, and it's about 10 degrees C today. That's why I'm wearing a jumper, it's quite cold. That's how I feel about this April right now. I think that the flow has started to slow down, but I think there will be another boost just before the end of May. As for the other apiaries, I'm probably going to go to the queen rearing apiary first, just so I can collect a bit more equipment, because I think that the quarantine apiary hive, Laura, needs another brood box or maybe another super or something along those lines. I think she'll be doing quite well. As for the hives at the queen rearing apiary, there's one that superseded in my very first inspection. I would quite like to have a look, see if I can see any eggs, and if not, then we'll have to either shake them out or combine them within a colony. We've got the hive that was dealing with a lot of moisture. I put another box on them because they'd exploded again, so that was good. I managed to revive them, so that was good. We also have the oldest queen, who is now turned drone laying. I need to shake her out. Shake those bees into another hive. Clear that space, because it's just going to keep ruining the comb with drone comb. You don't want to leave a drone layer for too long because it'll just wreck all the comb there, and then you'll just have a load of drone comb that's all battered that you can't use really. Right, I'm going to get my suit on, my smoker lit, and I'll meet you in there in 2 ticks. Bye. Right, so this is the checkerboarded hive, as I mentioned before. I just want to have a quick look. I don't think these guys will be wanting to swarm. I'll just go through the top box just to check, but I'm guessing that they're going to be absolutely fine. Let's put the box here. Oh, they are already in the roof. So because it's 10 degrees C and the forage has sort of died down, there's going to be a lot of bees in this colony. Just because the foragers aren't really going out and doing much because it's too cold for them. The majority of the flights that you're seeing out the front there are just to go poop and get rid of any dead bees or anything like that. So the majority of the foragers are going to be in here now. So We may get some grumpy bees. Yeah, so they are filling this box already. That's incredible. So even though there's bees on the frames, like filling it, as you can see, doesn't necessarily mean that they are using each of these frames. So we're just going to have a quick look and see where we're up to on them. I'm going to use you, Smoker. I'd highly recommend using these wood pellets that are for pizza ovens and stuff like that. It seems to make a really nice cool smoke, and it's not acrid or anything like that at all. This is food safe, so it means that you're not going to be poisoning yourself by accident. Okay, so yeah, and look at that smoke. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's beautiful. Highly recommend it. So we're just going to have a look down. So with the checkerboard, it was empty, full, empty, empty, full, empty, full, empty, full. So what we're expecting is several frames to be full, several frames to be empty, but we'll see. I can already see there's already quite a lot of honey here, which is phenomenal. Can't have filled all this brood box in a week, surely not. I know the flow was good, but is it that good? Right, so I found a queen cup and it's got an egg in it, so maybe, just maybe, the checkerboarding didn't work. But that is absolutely full of honey. That is phenomenal. Wow, so they've filled this frame with honey in a week. And we've got some capped honey here, but over here we've got some liquid honey that they're still working on. That's phenomenal. Right, so because I've found a queen cup that has an egg in it, I'm going to have to check the whole hive, which sucks. So if that's the case, what we're going to have to do is start from the bottom and work our way up. That's the best way to work when you've got two brood boxes. So I'm going to move this box onto this. It's annoying, but you've got to check, because if you see a queen cup with an egg, there could very well be a queen cup with larvae in it, and we do not want to lose such a lovely colony to swarming. What that does mean is that I'm probably going to have to give these guys more room. If they have filled this brood box with honey already, they need more room. Break this apart. So remember what I said, if you're going into a hive that's full of bees like this, choose a frame that is well away from the edge, because as you pull that frame up, bees will roll off the comb, and if the queen is on that comb, you do not want her rolling out of the box. I'll lift this up. Okay. So they do have some space still, because... Oh, do they? Wow. Okay, that's phenomenal. So I'll shake these bees off. So what we have here, which is what I could see, not you, is that they've taken this all the way down to the foundation and they've started rebuilding the comb. What I didn't see, which you guys probably saw, was that they've rebuilt the comb on this side and they've filled it full of nectar. Wow. So these guys are working hard. The nectar flow here is very strong, or was very strong. But that means that these guys were working very hard. The good news is that this honey won't be rapeseed oil honey, so I might actually harvest this. It will probably most likely be dandelion honey, which is delicious. Right, so what are we looking for when we go into a colony? We're looking for three things. We're looking for brood, making sure they've got eggs, larvae in all stages, and capped brood. You can look for drones as well, so that. Food. So you want to make sure that they've got pollen, you want to make sure that they've got nectar, because a starving colony is grumpy, but it also means that it's starving and is going to die. And you want space, because space will mean that they won't want to swarm. Now these guys are filling up fast, so chances are these guys need some space. Just judging from that one, where they're still cleaning the comb, and on the other side they've got pretty decent honey. These guys probably need a lot of space, so I might come back with 2 supers just to give them some extra space. Amongst that as well, when you're looking at the brood, you're wanting to look at diseases. You want to see if you can see any varroa, any signs of varroa. You want to make sure that the bees look healthy. You don't want them slimy, you don't want them shiny or anything like that. You want them nice and fluffy. Wings looking nice and healthy. No jitters or anything like that, and they want to be looking really good. So, for the first one, we've already found food. We've found a load of honey. So that's loads of food. We need to find some pollen, but I'm sure we'll find pollen near the brood area. What we want to now find is brood. So I've just found some eggs. So we found some eggs, that's really good. And we found some larvae. Now these are drone larvae, so they're much bigger. So we want to find some larvae that are worker larvae. The way you can tell between drone and worker larvae is from the size of the cell. So drone cells are a lot bigger compared to worker cells. So the eggs in the worker cells here, that means that they're probably going to be workers. The eggs in drone cells like that means that they're probably going to be drones. Yeah, interesting. So that's full of nectar, lots of eggs, and another queen cup here. Let's have a look. What are you saying? There's an egg in this queen cup as well. So you don't need to worry until you see larvae in a queen cup. If you see eggs in a queen cup, it could just be that the queen is running out of space and she's just finding some random queen cups to lay in. Because bees make queen cups all the time, even when they don't want to swarm, they make queen cups. It's just sort of like a, oh, we'll just leave it here just in case thing. But we found a lot of eggs, so that's good. Means that the queen is present if there are eggs. It's gone quite dark here now, so I'm going to have to use a torch to see if I can see any larvae. But there's lots of capped brood on this. I'm just giving it a cursory for a queen. Shake it off. So whenever you're doing this and you're looking for queen cells, don't be afraid to shake the bees off, because bees like to hide their queen cells. So as you can see, there is capped brood in the middle there, and this is honey here. So these guys are getting honey bound. So yeah, I will have to do something about this. In fact, I think this is nectar. So the way you can tell nectar and honey is by shaking. So if you shake like that and liquid comes out, it's nectar. If you don't, and it's honey. I don't see any liquid. Yeah, so that's honey. So that means it's ripened enough that it's not coming out. Yeah, and this is a frame of freshly emerging brood as well, because there's one emerging right here. Okay. No queen cups I can see on that one, so that's fine. Now looking down here, you can see that the work that they've been doing. So it's always very useful to look at the floor of the hive when you're doing your inspections. That there is the mouldy pollen that they have chewed out of the frames, the dirty frames that I showed you before. So that's why they're all clean and all chewed up now. But that there is all mouldy pollen. And the bees are working very hard at getting rid of it. There's a dead bee there that bee is trying to get rid of. That there is the undertaker bee. She's trying to get rid of that dead bee there. She'll take it to the entrance and fly off with it and drop it off a few metres away. But that's interesting. I'll put that back. Remember, if the bees aren't getting out of your way, you can just blow on them and they should move. Move you to the side a bit. I've checked you, haven't I? Yeah, you're the ones with the eggs and the brood. That's fine. Put you out of the way. Now what I should have done back when I was actually doing this checkerboarding, I should have marked which ones were checkerboarded and which ones were empty, just so I could actually measure where they're up to. But I think I can get a pretty good gauge on where they're up to just because of how full these frames are. So remember, look at the bees, check that they're healthy. These guys all seem good. And then look for any queen cells. So just having a look for the queen. I marked her last time, so she should stick out a bit easier than last time. I can't see her, so I'm just going to shake her. There you go. So I'm going to have a look. So this is full of nectar again. There's quite a bit of space here, and we're finding some pollen here as well. So that means that the food tick, that's all ticked off. We've got a little bit of space, so it means that we may have a bit of a saving grace here if we've got some space. But I still think that they're probably going to need some supers soon. So this is a lovely frame of capped brood. And just have a quick look at the queen. I'll shake it off. Right. I'll shake them off. So, lovely frame of capped brood there. It is emerging. So I'm just going to look down the cells. I can't see anything where I am. Oh, I've got the torch on me, damn it. I'm not seeing any eggs on this frame, which is mad because it's a brood frame. So that kind of points that maybe the bees are trying to swarm on me. So what happens as the bees get ready to swarm is they stop feeding the queen as much and she slims down and is able to fly again. Now, I've just found a queen cup here. So we'll have to see what's going on. So it's polished, but I can't see any larvae. So I'm just going to squash that down just to make sure that if there is a larvae and I've missed it, it doesn't do anything. But that is just brood. Okay, that's fine. The issue with double brooding like this is that it doubles the amount of time it takes for you to do an inspection of one colony. It does give them extra space though. So, yeah, this is quite light. And I can see a lot of larvae. And they're getting to the stage where they're being capped, so that's good. Go away, you. Look for the queen. So I'm finding eggs now, but there's not as many eggs as I was expecting. I was expecting this to be full of eggs. So I have larvae in all stages here and some eggs as well. So this is I think this is one of the fresh frames. This is one of the new frames that the queen has probably laid up. Because don't forget, when you have pretty much doubled the size of the hive and you spread out all the brood area and stuff like that, the queen has to move around a lot more to try and figure out where she wants to lay. So it can slow her down laying sometimes. This is another frame full of capped brood. Lots of drone brood here. And I think I can see a proper queen cell. So we'll have a look, see if we can see the queen. If I can find the queen, I might cage her because I might choose to do a split. Just to give these guys what they want. The only way to stop a colony that's decided to swarm is to do a split or to do an artificial swarm. And for both of them you need to find the queen, unfortunately. Right, so I'm going to shake these out. I've seen eggs and larvae, so I'm not worried about damaging a queen cell. So there's a queen cell right here. So I'm going to open it up and have a look inside. Yes, so there's a little larvae in there. I'm going to squash that. And there's another queen cell here. Is there anything in? Just an egg. These guys are on the cusp of swarming. So I'd quite like to find the queen, because I think it's probably best I do a split. As you can see though, lots of larvae there, and lots of drone brood there. All the drone brood is emerging as well, so that's interesting. Okay. The bees are pinging me, but they're not stinging me. They're telling me to go away, but they're not telling me with violence yet. Just go away. There's another queen cell here, so yeah, I'm going to need to find this queen, I think, and do a split. That's a shame. And as I said in the last video, checkerboarding isn't a be-all end-all when it comes to knocking bees out with swarming, but it does slow them down a little bit. Right, I can't see the queen. Shake this off. Now, someone asked the other day if I find multiple frames of queen cells, why don't I make lots of splits? The reason for that is because I want to keep my colonies as strong as possible. The more splits you do, the weaker you make the initial hive. So if I do a small split now, I'm only going to take a couple of frames of brood, a frame of food and the queen. And some bees, and the main colony will stay nice and strong. That's because when they produce queen, I want them to be as strong as possible so they'll be able to produce honey for me, because this is a production place. This is where I want to make honey. This is full of capped brood, absolutely to the brim. Keep an eye out for the queen. Can't see a shake. My main aim here is to knock down any queen cells. I do not want them to swarm yet. I can always come back another day and look for the queen again. Sometimes you can't find a queen one day and then you just come back again, maybe like a day or so later, and she's in a different frame, different spot, in a place where there's less bees, and you've got a better chance of finding her. Oh, this is a lovely frame of pollen. Amazing. Looking really good. Yeah, so there's lots of honey on this as well. So I wonder if the queen is in the top box. I'm hoping she is, because then I'll be able to find her, hopefully. And if I find her, then I can do a split today. I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week. If you want the bees to get out of the way, the flying bees, just give a little puff to Virgo, like that. The flying bees will fly off. The queen can't fly, so it empties the frame just a little bit and just makes it a little bit easier to see if she's there. Now when you've seen queen cells, always be cautious of drone brood, because bees will like to hide queen cells there. They also like to hide them in holes as well. So if there's a hole in the frame, they like to hide them there. So there's a hole in the frame right here. I'm going to break it open. There's a queen cell in it. It's in there. Remember, if you see a cell that's like that, horizontal, that is more than likely a drone or a worker. Anything vertical or curving slightly downwards, that is a queen cell. If you're unsure, knock it down. Just break it down. There's no point in messing around or playing silly buggers. Right, so I've been through this. I found one cell with a larvae in it, or maybe it was 2 cells with a larvae in it. So I think that they are wanting to swarm. So I am going to try and find the queen. Hopefully she's in that box. If she's not, then we have to try and do some jiggery pokery, which I'll show you how to do later on. Okay, slowly but surely. Remember, when it's full like this, you don't want to just slam it in. You want to be very careful and gentle. Right, so I'm going to smoke them down and put this box on top. I don't want people getting squished, so go down, guys, go down. Any on the edge that's still hanging around, just brush them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, lift. This is very heavy for something that I've only just put on. So, pay attention to that. Right, let's move you over here. This is the one with the queen cup here with the egg in it, so I'm just going to squash that. Don't mess around. And we're going to keep an eye out for the queen now. Find her, take a split. Look at you. You are pure honey. Jeez, that's amazing. It smells like nettles randomly in here. Interesting. You know when you hit a nettle? It smells like that. Now, there's loads of eggs up here. Loads and loads of eggs. There's some larvae and capped larvae as well, but there's loads and loads of eggs. So I think the queen has moved up. She's probably in that big old clump of bees. Let's see her there. Don't think she's on this frame, but this is full of eggs, and these are fresh eggs as well, so the eggs are pointing upwards. If the egg is up like that, it's been laid that day, thereabouts. If it's at an angle, maybe a day or so old. If it's on its side, it's maybe been 2 days or so. So that is good news. It means the queen is definitely here somewhere. Just need to find the old girl. Right, there's a queen cup here. There's a few queen cups actually. So, find the queen, it would be a good idea. In fact, there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 queen cups on this frame. I don't know if there's anything in them yet. I'm too busy looking for the queen. Oh, there's more up there as well. Jeez, there's loads of queen cups there. Don't know if the queen sells yet. So when you're inspecting, try to keep the frame away from the other frames. It means if the queen is on here, she's still walking around the same frame. So hopefully my mark is still about. The bees can rub them off. Right, but because I've seen some queen cells on these frames, I'm just going to shake this off here. Let's open them up and see what's in. Nothing. An egg. That's not good. It's new. Egg. Go on, you go away. Go away. Another egg. You look a bit more developed. No, you're just an egg, and you're an egg. Now there was one up here I saw a minute ago. Where's that gone? There. So there's one right in the brood there. Nope. There's nothing in that one. Okay, that's good. Okay, panic over. Now there's loads of larvae on here, but not many eggs, so I think the queen is on a different frame. Watch out. Go the other way. Stop buzzing me. We don't want to squish anyone, remember. This frame's full of eggs, that's good. The reason I'm going so slow is because I just want to make sure I can find that queen. I've never had a hive smell of nettles before, that's interesting. I wonder if they're taking pollen from it or something. There's lots of queen cells on here. Definitely queen cups, don't know if the queen cells. Ah, found the queen, yes. So there she is. So I'm going to just grab her best I can. Where's she gone? Right, so I love this tube. It's great for grabbing queens. You just put it over her and she's trapped in there now. Can you see her? She's making her way to the top. She can't get out. So now she's up there, all I do is I lift this up and put my thumb over the end. Watch out, bees. And now she's fully contained in there. So I found her and now she's trapped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cage her up, and I'm probably going to use one of those nucs over there and create a split with her. Make sure that the tab's in the bottom. Comes to the queen cage. The amount of times I've got a queen cage that I've already used, and I've broken the tabs off, and I've put a queen in, she just walks straight back out. It's really annoying. There we go. So just tap her in. Whoop, there she is. And if you're struggling, make it so this is the vertical place. So bees always like to walk upwards. So if you make the cage the vertical bit, like that, she should walk up. So she's there. So I'm just going to close this cage up, and she's well protected. So I'm going to stick her there so the heat of the hive can keep her nice and toasty. That is one panic over. Now what I can do is I can shake these off willy-nilly and get rid of the queen cells. I'm also going to make a nuc from this, so we'll have a look. So this has got a load of queen cups in it, so let's have a look. So that's a larvae. What I could actually do is leave one of these like alive, and this will probably be the oldest of all the queen cups and queen cells. That means that will be the one that emerges. So what I might do is just take my time and just be a bit careful to see what I can see inside. Well, there's nothing in that one. There's very tiny larvae in that one. That's an egg. Oh, right. Oh, brilliant. Don't need to do any of that. Squash that one as well. And squash that one as well. So there's one here on the side that's full to the brim of royal jelly. So we'll go with that one. Let's have a look at the larvae, make sure it's in there still. Yeah, larvae still in there. That's good. So we've got a queen cell here, so we're going to keep this in this hive. I'm going to mark it here, and I'm just going to knock everything else down. What that means is that one will be the fastest to grow into a full-size queen. It's on the side, it's a naturally born queen as well. So swarm cells can make okay queens. They usually make quite strong queens. But they might be a bit more swarmy than other ones. Jury's out on that one, I'm afraid. What we're going to do is we're going to shake every other frame off, and we're going to get rid of any queen cells that we see. That was a good one, it's well protected. And that there is loads of queen cells, so it's good that we found the queen. We can protect her now, give her a new colony. So if you look at the larvae there, that was in one of these queen cells. And these are looking really strong, so you can see all the royal jelly surrounding it there. I'll have a look at this one here. So I'm not going to keep these ones just because they're joined together. I'll never keep those ones, but as you can see, absolutely filled to the brim with royal jelly. So these are really going to be strong queens that I'm getting from this colony. That's just an egg. You can see the egg there, can't you? So unfortunately I'm going to destroy these ones, but we've got a really good healthy one in there somewhere. Okay, cool. If you're a bit squeamish about killing larvae and stuff like that, just scoop them out. Just leave them for mice, birds, rats, whatever. You don't have to squash them, What we're going to do now is we're going to make a split. We're using one of those. Let's have a look. Shake you off. Loads of queen cells here, just squash them down, don't even bother looking into them. We've found one queen cell that we're happy about, that's the one that they're going to use. This has got emerging brood actually, so what I might do is I might leave this with the queen so she's got a boost of bees. Because it's going to be in the same apiary, a lot of the bees from the nuke are going to fly back to this original colony. I'm going to keep this box here, in essence. That's a great frame of pollen and food, so I'm going to save that as well. Switch that on that, and then we'll make our split. As I said, I don't want to make a huge split. I want to keep these guys as strong as I can. Nothing there. Okay. And that is a lovely frame of honey. Right, okay, so because I'm only going to be taking a small split, I'm going to shake as many bees as I can into the box. A lot of them will fly back here, that's fine. But because I've taken the queen out of here, these guys won't swarm now. The queen's gone, so the reason for swarming is gone. They need a head of the house. So they're going to produce that queen, she's going to emerge and she's going to take over this colony. I don't need to add any more space onto them really, because the queen is not going to be in there laying constantly, so they won't be building up in force. What will happen is that the bees will get to a point where they'll probably beard, because there's not enough room, and then they'll start dying off. Because the bees in spring and summer, so they only live for about 6 weeks, it's not a long time. So, right, I'm going to go get me nuke and then we'll make a split. Right. Just going to move this to the floor. Out there. So I'm only going to put 3 frames in there. So we have, let's move you to the end. Tell you what, give that to the strong hive. Leave this for the queen. So I want to leave the best frames for the queen because I want her to get laying again as quick as she can. The big colony will have stuff to do then. Yep, there we go. Right, so that's that. So we've got a pollen and food frame. That's what we want. That's good. That's going to go here. Pollen food can go next to the feeder. The feeder hasn't got anything in it, but I'm going to put it there anyway. This has some capped brood in it. That's good. We want to be able to give the queen a boost. And we're going to look for one more frame. So another brood frame would be good. Yeah, so this has got some eggs and stuff on it. Don't want that. We want capped brood, really. We want those bees to emerge and leave lovely empty cells for the queen to fill with eggs. Move out the way. Go on, move. Capped brood. That's what we're looking for. Oh, there's the queen. Let's not lose her down. Done that before. That was annoying. And you look like capped brood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake quite a few bees in here. That is, yep, that's capped brood there. Perfect. Put that in. So I've got all the frames. I've got 2 frames of brood, I've got 1 frame of food, and the rest is just going to be empty frames. So what I'm going to do now, because this is going to be in the same apiary, is I'm just going to shake a load of bees in. I'm going to shake more bees in than you think is a good idea. Because half of these are going to fly off back here. And what we don't want to do is leave the queen with no colony of bees to help her. We're going to be careful with this one because it's got the queen cell on. Careful with the queen, let's transfer her here. We're just going to shake all these bees in. There we go. Right, we'll put these frames in. Now these are dirty frames, look at that, mouldy. But because the colony is so strong, they should be able to clean these up pretty easy. Right, put this frame back in. Tell you what, throw you in as well. Right. There we go. So, made a split. Put the crown board on. Plenty of bees still. Put the roof on. And what I'll do is I will come back next week and just check for queen cells, make sure that one there is the only queen cell present. It takes 14 days, 2 weeks, for a queen to go from egg to emerging as a fully fledged queen. After 7 days, she's capped. So if in a week, she will have been capped for a few days. So I want to make sure that there's no competition for her when she comes out, because then you can sometimes end up with cast swarms. And what that means is that she'll come out and go, oh, there's loads of other queen cells, I'll fly off. And then another queen will come out and they'll fly off, another queen will fly off. And what you're doing is you're splitting that colony by half each time, and it's a bloody nightmare. So what I want to do is just one queen, she comes out, she goes, ah, this is my lovely colony. And she goes out, gets mated, come back, and then she is able to be awesome. So, yeah. All right. We'll release the queen now. Whoop. What I'll do is I'll smoke the bees down a little bit, just to give me some space. You can probably see a load of bees at the front there somewhere. That is all the bees flying from this box going, hey, craziest things just happened. There you go, going. There seems to be the queen in a different box. How weird. Right, so the queen's in here now. She is secure. I'm going to put this ground board on carefully. Don't want to squish anyone. Watch out, guys. But she's in here now. So this is queenless, this is queen right. And we're going to put this over here. Which side has it got it on? You can leave the queen excluder on if you are still worried that they're going to swarm. I'm going to leave it on just for a little bit. Just for maybe a week or so like that, just to make sure the queen gets established in here. I know she's already got a brood in here because we've just put the brood in, but I just want to make sure that she's established before I feel relaxed about it. But I'm going to move them over there now. Whew. There we go. Look at here. I reckon if she's happy as Larry, she'll make this colony probably about the same size as that in a couple of weeks. Right. So I've built these a bit differently. I've done it so you strap them to the side here. It's usually what I do is I stick a piece of wood underneath my box, so it's being anchored downwards. But the issue I found with that is that the wood that I've been using, for it to be decent enough, usually has to be quite thick. And what that can do is it can block up the vents a little bit, so the ventilation is not great. So we're trying something different where the whole bottom is completely wood free, and it's just the sides that are reinforced. And you just ratchet them to the side like this. We'll see how it works out. I'm a bit concerned that if like a gust of wind or a knock or something hits it, it might just make it flip. But we'll see. See what happens. Right, so these two hives were nucs that I swapped out into full-size hives, and I was sure this one was going to swarm. But last week I had the revelation that I actually found the queen, and there was no more queen cells or anything like that, so I was chuffed. But both of them were very, very full of bees. Even though they'd gone from a nuc box, one of those ones that you've just seen, to a full-size hive, they were full of bees, just showing how tightly packed they were in one of those small boxes. So I've added some extra space. So on this one I've added a brood box, on this one I've added 2 supers. They both just had foundation in. Now, from the flow that's been going on, I'm interested to see what they've managed to do in a week. Have they managed to draw out all these boxes? Have they drawn all that out? Have they drawn just one of these out? Half of them? We'll soon find out. Let's start with this one. I will want to do an inspection just to make sure that they aren't going to swarm, because I know that they seem to have been knocked out of it for now, but I just don't want to risk it for now. It's very hard to knock bees out of swarming. But what we're going to do is just have a quick look first of all. So they're on all the frames, so they are using all the frames, and I can already see this one here is being drawn out, and it's got nectar in it as well, I think. So if you pay attention, when I shake it, there should be liquid that falls down if it's nectar. If it doesn't, then it's actually honey. So yep, nope, nothing fell out, so it's honey. Honey's in there. Cool. This is honey as well. Oh my god, these guys have filled it. All drawn out. Huh? What? Okay, so we're still drawing it. So they've managed to draw like a little section there. That's got honey in it as well. These guys are flying along. Right, so that's undrawn. Undrawn comb there, and there, and there. So they've got 3, 4. out of the 11 out of the top box. So that's pretty incredible, to be honest, for a week. Let's see what they've done with the box below, because they might have just gone straight to the top and that's it, but we'll find out now. Oop. So the good news is that I can actually see down, so that means that the bees aren't filling these boxes completely. That's great. They love to have lots of space. So that means that these guys are probably not going to be wanting to swarm anytime soon. Probably. So this is full of nectar and honey, actually. Honey. Wowee. So this end frame, that's full. Whoa. Let's keep moving along. Centre, just in case the queen's moved up here. No eggs, just honey. Wowee. This is incredible. Let's have a look. Ah, we found some eggs here. That's a good sign. It means the queen's here. Now, don't worry too much about the queen laying in the super. Oh, the queen's right here. Oh, wow. Hello, queenie. She's right here. I'm going to mark her because she's unmarked. Did not expect that. So the queen's up here in the super. Let's collect her. Mark her. Then cage her to let her dry. So this nuke was one of the imported queens. So I was expecting her to have a bright blue line. But she doesn't. She has no line whatsoever. So, see if I can film it for you. So this queen is interesting because I was sure this was an imported queen when I transferred the nuke across. Because I didn't really do any queen rearing myself last year. Because I had a bit of trouble with chronic bee paralysis virus. So I was otherwise engaged. So I bought some queens in. And she had a bright blue dot attached to her thorax. Now if you look there, it's completely empty. It also looks bereft of her as well, so maybe it's just been pinged off, like a little blue disc. But that explains why I found it difficult to find her the other day. Right, I'm going to mark her now. And yeah, so what I need to do is just line her up gently, like that. Make sure that the pen's working, so do like a little dot, 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 dot. And then all we need to do is a little dot on the back of the thorax there. Just little dots, don't need to go crazy. Just make sure that it's very obvious that you can see her. Put the lid back on, don't want it drying out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to release her so she can walk about a bit. That's because if you put too much pressure on these things, I know there's a bloody great big spongy pad there to stop her from dying, but I just worry that you're going to stop her from being able to breathe, which is why she's doing that butt wiggle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move her here just for now. I'm going to let that dot dry because so many people dot them, put them straight in, and the bees just go and lick it straight off. So I'm just going to leave it on. But we found the queen, so that's good. So I'm going to cage her and just keep hold of her, because what that means is that if we do find that these guys are trying to swarm, we can do another split. And I've already found the queen, which is the hard part. But all this is literally honey. This is crazy how much honey, and it's honey as well. So if I shake it, there's no drips or anything. These guys are incredible. So what I might have to do is I might have to come back with some more supers for these guys. They've got space yet, so they've got. Let's have a look at what frames are on. Ooh, don't lose the queen. So they're drawing out the second to last frame on this one, and they're on the last one, but they're not drawing it out yet. So they've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames left to draw out. So they're not in any rush yet in wanting to swarm. That being said, I'm still going to check the bottom box. I'm just going to give it a cursory look. I don't believe that they'll be wanting to swarm, but I'll look at the brood area and just check, because there's not a lot of brood up here, so it means that the queen has been relegated to down here. So we're going to have a quick look. Smoke it. The queen looks quite plump as well, so generally she'd look a lot smaller if they were wanting to swarm, because as I mentioned before, the bees had stopped feeding her. So here's some brood. Mishmash of pollen and capped brood. No eggs that I can see there. No, there is a few queen cups. Let's see what's inside. Nothing in that one. The whole bottom's full of queen cups here. And Nothing there. And the last one. There's an egg in that one, but eggs don't mean anything, so don't worry about it too much. Can't see any queen cells here. So, because I found the queen and I know she's okay and safe, I'm just going to shake these out. Just have a look. Because I found another queen cup here. And I'm going to just be a bit brutal about it. There's loads of larvae on this side and loads of eggs. So these guys are okay here. Just keep looking. Shake them off. Don't need to worry about it. Loads of eggs on this. It's virtually empty apart from the centre, which has a bit of pollen there. Loads of larvae here where the drone brood is. And this side is absolutely jam-packed full of larvae as well, so that's good. So she has got room to lay because she has been laying, and this is this is honey actually. Wow. Okay, that's cool. Lock you back. Watch yourself. And again. So look at you. This is brood, and again there's some queen cups. Now this one has some royal jelly in it, but it looks like it's been scooped out. So this was a queen cup, as you can see. It has got royal jelly in it, but it doesn't look fresh, so it's not like pearly white. And I don't think that's a larvae in there. I will have a quick dig around and just check, but I think that's a dead cell. So there was a larvae in there, but it wasn't alive. Can you see it there? So that's a dead larvae. Interesting. It didn't look fresh, so it threw me off a bit. So I wonder if they have had the impulse to swarm, but then decided against it and started to tear it down. Interesting. I'm going to keep looking anyway. Shake these bees off. It's just interesting for them to do that. Now, there's some more dead larvae down here. That looks like chilled drone brood. There's nothing in that queen cup. Nothing in that queen cup. So that's interesting. I wonder if these guys have thought, oh, we want to swarm, and then after a while they've decided, you know what? We've got all this space above us. Let's not bother. And they've started tearing down the queen cells. Interesting. Shake you out. Lots of larvae in here. Lovely larvae. All looking very healthy. And there's some queen cups as well, so we'll have a quick look. These are just practice ones, I think, from the looks of it. Yeah, there's nothing there. So look at the larvae. So when you're looking at larvae, you want to be looking for twisted larvae or discoloured, so not pearly white. They won't be C-shaped if there's something wrong with them, or they might be twisted and horrible, or they might just not have any segments. They might be going gooey, which is never a good sign with any sort of thing, let alone bees. So we're just gonna have a quick look. Loads of eggs on this one, loads of pollen. Because I've seen that queen cell that had a larvae in it, even though it was dead, I'm still going to check the whole hive. I'm not going to mess around, really. Full of capped brood. So this is probably wanting to explode soon. Yeah. Drone brood, emerging, capped brood, full of eggs in all the holes where the brood has emerged. And we've got some very young baby bees as well, who are very white and very fluffy. You can tell that the babies because they've got fluffy eyes. Queen cup. This is just brood again. That's some eggs in the queen cell. Looks fine. Loads of eggs all over the frames. Now these guys have been dealing with varroa and they were having issues. I've just found a frame full of drone brood, so I think what I'm going to do is some sacrificial drone brood. Yeah, let's do that. So if you look here, you can see that there is a lot of drone brood there. You can tell the difference between drone brood because you've got these cells here which are quite flat if you look at them, and you've got these that stick out and are all bumpy. Those are drone brood, that's worker brood right there. What I'm going to do is something called sacrificial drone brood, and what that means is you scoop out the drone larvae, and any varroa that is inside that cell will be present on the larvae. You can do a little quick check just to see what the varroa load is in here, because the majority of varroa mites in a hive are inside cells. The ones that are walking about on the outside, they're very few. So this is very interesting. Also, I've literally just found a varroa right there. Right there walking about. I don't know if you can see that. So I think there's a high varroa load. Doing this reduces the amount of varroa in a hive exponentially, just because varroa love drone brood, because drone brood take the longest amount of time to emerge. So it means the varroa have the most amount of time to reproduce and reproduce and reproduce inside those cells. So getting rid of drone brood is a really good way of reducing your varroa load, right? So if you don't want to watch this, if you're squeamish, please move on. Fast forward it for God knows how long. I'll put a time code maybe here, but just fast forward it. It's going to get a bit gross, okay? Okay, right. So to do it, you shove it in, not too deep, just the top bit there, and then you just slowly pry it out. And what that does is it pulls the drone brood out. So as you can see, there's the drone brood on the end. And what we do is we check it for varroa, not just on the actual larvae, which are here, but we also look in the cells as well. So inside the cells, you can get a good view of what's inside there. So inside there is the remnants of the larval process, like eggshells and stuff like that. You can see it's like little white bits at the bottom. Can't see any varroa in there at the moment, so I'm going to carry on. As I said, it's horrible, it really is. But it's a good way of seeing if there's anything wrong with the drones. Cannot see any varroa there. Okay, take that off. And have a look in the cell there. Can't see any varroa either. Doing this as well, if there are varroa in the cells that you are missing, the bees will come in and clean it out. And as they clean it out, they will get rid of any varroa that they come across. Another thing is that varroa larvae are stark white, so you will probably not be able to see them very easily on the larvae. It's only the adult which is red, and you'll only just be able to see that. This really sucks, it's really gross, you feel terrible for doing it because you didn't get into this hobby to kill bees, but it's actually for the benefit of them. And there we go, there's a varroa right there. Can you see the little red dot? Right there, on the tip of my finger. He's walking about now. So there are varroa present, there's always varroa present in a colony, and doing this does help them. It just feels horrible doing it. On the other side. Try not to grab too much at the same time, because sometimes you can destroy the comb, and that's never good. But it is pretty fast. You just do a quick look and scrape it off. And the wildlife, birds, pheasants, whatever, I think there's plenty of rats and stuff here, will come and eat all this larvae off the ground, so you're actually giving to the nature as well, so it's fine. And it's very good for them as well. So I sometimes give drone brood frames to a swift charity. So if they've got baby swifts, it's actually really nutritious for them, and they're very thankful for it. I've got rid of the majority of the drones there, I think. That'll do for now. Right, the bees will come and they'll clean this up. But what we've just done is we've just removed a stack of area where there could have been a lot of varroa. Right, there you are. I've kept the worker brood. It's just the drones that have gone. Sorted. Right, so I'm going to stick this back in. Here we are. The chubbies. So they're getting a bit annoyed because I've left them open for quite a while now. But it was necessary, so I'll shoot them off. Any queen cells there? Nope. Any queen cells there? No. So it was just that one queen cell that I found, and I think that it was one that they'd regretted making because they had started tearing it down. So yeah, I'm not worried about them swarming right now. So I'll put this back. Okay. And then smoke them down, and we'll put the other boxes on top. I think I may have to come and give these guys another box sometime soon. Oh, it's very heavy. So if I wanted to keep this, so it's just a honey super, now that they've started drawing it out and they've actually stored some honey up here, what I would do now I found the queen, is I put the queen in the bottom box and put queen excluder on. The smell of honey up here would draw the bees up here anyway, and they'd carry on filling up the supers. But I'm not going to bother doing that right now. There she is, and there she goes. Right. All the bees got in here. Come on, out. Right, so she's okay now. She's well marked and dried. Perfect. Let's put this on. Close these guys up for now. They're doing great. I'm really happy with these. Right, so we have a different situation with this one. This one had swarmed. All the bees were on the outside and they were about to fly off, but then I managed to draw them back in by giving them a new hive. Now, as I said before, this brood box was completely foundation. Let's find out what they've done with it. There's a lot of bees up here, so that to me means that they're probably fully drawn out. And if that's the case, then I think we need to give these guys some more space as well. Which means that this week I'm probably going to have to come and give everyone some new boxes. That is full of honey. Wowee. So the main one is to see if there's any brood up here, because we want the queen to have moved up and had a look around. Because that is how we release the feeling of being too tightly squished together. And we found some brood, found some eggs. So this has all been drawn out in a week, and there's fresh eggs right here. So if you look there, they look like tiny grains of rice right at the bottom. See them? So this was nothing but foundation last week, and it's all beautifully drawn out. All these frames have at least a decent amount of honey on. All the bees are working hard right here. Look at all this. And all these are eggs. This queen is phenomenal. So I'm going to take my time with this one. I won't go into the bottom box unless I see a queen cell. But these guys are doing quite well. Loads of larvae in here. Whoa! Amazing. Oh, it's queen cup down this end. Empty. Perfect. So, the reason why I'm not fussed about not seeing the queen in this is because I'm seeing eggs. If there are eggs, there is a queen. That's the main thing. So, if I see eggs, then I know there's a queen present. If I'm not seeing any eggs whatsoever, it means that queen might not be here. And they may have swarmed. But there's loads of eggs. So what were we looking for before? Brood. We've seen eggs, got loads of larvae. There won't be any capped brood yet because it's not been long enough for them to cap the brood, but it's getting close. We want food. So we've seen lots of honey, seen lots of nectar, and I can see some pollen right here in this corner there. Possibly see the colour difference there. And what we're wanting is space. Now, we've given them space for this week, but I think these guys are starting to get a bit full. It's interesting that they seem to have filled out this box in its entirety, but not all of the 2 boxes there. So maybe the 2 supers slow it down. Don't know. It's a little experiment that I did. Not sure what the findings tell me, but you tell me your interpretation of the results. Loads of eggs. So this is all eggs. This is crazy how much, there's so much brood here. So this queen has literally been waiting for seconds for them to produce the comb and just started laying. Won't be surprised if I see her here, to be honest. Now this one did have a lovely blue dot, so she should be relatively easy to find, because I found her last week. Watch out. Whoa. I'm not looking for her though, don't worry. I don't really care if I find her or not. I'm just saying that if I did find her, it'd be because she's super easy to find, because she's got a big blue dot on her back. Right, this is where the brood is starting to die off. So we've got a few eggs here, but it's mostly nectar and honey. And we're getting further and further into the honey range. Yeah, more honey over here. They've actually started capping the honey at the top here. Industrious little things, aren't they? And then last frame, what are we on? Yeah, this is empty, so this is pretty good. It's got some nectar on it. It is nectar, I think. Yep, some nectar. But they've got space, so they've got a 1 frame space. So that to me means that I need to get in here quick with a box, probably a super box, or maybe another brood box, I'm not sure yet. But I need to do something to alleviate any pressure. The bees are covering all the seams as well. So if they had filled the box, but the seams weren't full of bees, then I'd be more dubious to actually give them a box more. But because they're filling all of the seams, that is a big indicator that I need to give them another box very soon. I'm not going to bother going into the bottom, just because I've checked the top. There's no queen cells there whatsoever, so and I can't imagine them doing it. Crown board, check. That reminds me, I need to get a crown board for that one. And then this one. And you know what? I'm going to open the entrances because they've got enough bees here now that I think they can do without the blockers. So I'm going to stick that in here for now. But I think they don't need that bee space at the entrance. They're doing quite well. So here I am at the queen rearing apiary. I've only got 1 or 2 things that I really need to focus on here. Other than that, I think everyone else is pretty happy. There's definitely a nectar flow going on here. Every single hive is like heaving. There's a bunch over there, which I'll show you in a bit. And just like the bees can't get into the entrance fast enough. There's just so much nectar somewhere and they're just pushing and pushing. In situations like this, it is time to add space. If there is a big flow on and the bees are building up in front of the entrance, remove any entrance block, let that flow get in there, get those bees in there, and just put loads of boxes on top. At this time of the year, so beginning of May, I've forgotten what day it is time to stop worrying about the cold, all right? The frosts aren't going to get to them. If there is going to be a frost. The colonies should be at a stage where they are big enough to survive any sort of frosts. Even the small one over there, which I sorted last week, I think now that they're in the nuke box, I don't have to worry about them too much. But space is at a premium right now, so what you need to do is keep on putting boxes on top of them. If, say, they've filled a full box, but they're only on half the seams, put another box on. This is the time of year where you're focusing on how much they've actually filled rather than just the seams. Again, if they're filling all the seams, but they haven't actually touched the frames yet, still give them another box. You want to make sure that they feel like they've got too much space. They've got too much space to do anything with. Oh God, we've got so much space to fill with honey and nectar and all this sort of stuff. That's what you want them to have the mindset of. You do not want them to think, oh, we're getting cramped, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go check whether the adding a space last week was useful or not. I may have to add more space onto them. I'm also going to be checking on a few bits and bobs as well. We've got the small hive over there that are transferred into a nuke box. I want to see if they're doing better. Chances are they're not. Chances are they're probably going to die out, but we'll have to see. We've also got the oldest queen. She is turned into a drone layer. I need to shake her out. I'm probably going to shake her out in front of that hive there, just because it's strong, so it means that if the queen tries to get in, she'll probably be stopped. Other than that, I need to crack on, so let's get going. Stingy hive, let's go quick. So these guys had moved into the top box, but they were still cleaning it up. I need to find a crown board for these guys because I don't want the roof sticking to them. Looking at it, it looks like they've filled this whole box with honey, so they're going to need some more space. So when you are struggling for time and you need to see if they are wanting to swarm or something like that, a good quick method of doing that is just to break the box seal at the bottom and just turn it upside down. So we found an issue. They've stuck this box to the frames underneath. So if I lift up, I can't lift it up because the frames underneath are stopping it. So the way to fix that is to twist it. So make sure you've got your leg there because it can be really sticky, and just twist. That'll break the seal between the wax at the bottom and the frames at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tilt it like this and have a look up. So looking up, you should be able to see any swarm cells, because a lot of the time they produce swarm cells at the bottom of the frames. So I'm just going to have a look, and I can see a queen cup there. There's nothing in it. So there you are. I'm going to go through it, but what that does is it just gives me a little indicator of where they're at. If they're wanting to swarm, you'd see some swarm cells sticking down at the bottom. Well, these guys aren't doing that right now, so I'm going to take it easy. Just have a look at the top box, make sure I've got the three things: brood, food and space. And then move on. Right, so all of these frames were disgusting, and these guys have fixed them up. You can see the brand new comb there. It's a lot lighter than the rest. But they have chopped out all of the horrible pollen, and they are now filling it with honey, and this is fresh honey. And this is delicious. Good on them. Now, I do have an issue with this, in that there is an oilseed rape field over there. So I think that's where they're getting all this honey from. So I'm not a fan of spring honey. So what I might end up doing is giving this back to the nucs. We'll have to see. Yep, you can see the fresh comb at the bottom. They've cleaned it all up and they're storing honey in here. And there's eggs in here as well. So that's two things. That's food and brood seen. So there's definitely a queen in here. They are still cleaning this frame up a bit. They're storing nectar in the top bit here, but the bottom bit they're still cleaning out, and you can still see fresh wax being added. And there's lots of fresh wax on here, you can see around here. So this must have been pretty dirty. But they're filling it with honey again. So these guys are running out of space, something rotten. So I need to swap these guys out. Let's have a look over here a bit. See if there's any brood. That's what I want to see. I'm going for the centre area just to see if there's any brood in here, because that's usually where the brood area is, in the centre. So I'll lift it up. Yeah, so we've got some lovely cat brood here. It looks like freshly emerging, so it looks like it's been emerging from the centre and it's working its way around here. The reason I say that is because there's a little bee right here that is emerging from the cell. So I think these guys are emerging, so that's great news. And the pattern is phenomenal as well, so they've done a fantastic job with the pattern. Like, barely any missed cells, so let's try and create some space here. You can see how tight that pattern is, it's brilliant. Don't worry if they miss a few cells. Sometimes the queen just carries on walking, or maybe it's got a bit of nectar in it so the queen can't lay in it, or you don't know. But if it's like really bad, then you should worry. But if it's just some cells here and there, but the majority of it is absolutely fine, don't worry about it at all. Right, let's have a look at you. Ooh. Okay. I got buzzed, but I didn't get bitten, so it's fine. Again, look at that, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful frame. Wow. You know what, randomly, I might actually make a queen out of the stingy hive. I never thought I'd say that in a million years, but this queen's doing great. And these bees, like, they're not attacking me in any way, shape or form. They're not really pinging me. You know what I mean? So, just doing this would usually really upset them. These guys aren't fussed. And that pattern is just, that one especially is brilliant. Oh, I don't know. Traces of a beekeeper. Let's go back to, whoa! Oh, and I found the queen. Queen is right here, walking all over this lovely capped brood, wondering where the hell she can lay. Beautiful. Never thought I'd see the queen from this hive. Let's give her another mark just to make sure she's okay. Let's give her a little mark. Blip, 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 blip. She is officially marked. Look at her. Gorgeous queen. She's doing such a good job. Can't really see her colours through that. Like a tiger stripe. It's cool. So I'm going to leave her here. I'm not going to bother her. I am going to give these guys some more room because they desperately need it. Now, question is, do I put a super underneath to break up this box here, or do I put a super on top? And do I put honey super on, or do I put a brood box on? Because this apiary is what I use for raising queens, so I want as much brood as possible to be produced. Problem is that the nectar flow here is so strong that they're going to be storing honey. And really what I want to do is present them with enough places to put the honey so they can use the brood area for brood. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a super. So I'll go get some supers. I'm going to give them a couple. Now, just to reiterate what I said a few weeks back, I don't like to use queen excluders until near the end of the season. I use them if I'm doing like some splits or something like that and I want to make sure I know where the queen is. But when it comes to the normal hive, I try not to use them because I think it encourages swarming. So as long as you put more boxes on top, the bees don't feel like they need to swarm. Well, they shouldn't do anyway. Bees always want to swarm at a certain stage. Right, I think she'll have dried by now. Queenie. There she goes. Bye, Queenie. Right, so the queen's in there now. She's happy. She was trying to find somewhere to lay. So I've got these honey supers. Now, I don't particularly want her to lay in these, but they're quite clean. There's no pollen or anything like that mucking them up. These are from when I did the honey pull last year. So I've cut them, I've dried them, and then I've left them for storage. So what I'm going to do now, put it on top. So the queen can still use these for laying brood. Hopefully this will encourage them to bring the honey up here. And then what they can do is I only keep 10 frames in these 11 frame boxes. And the reason for that is when they start filling them up with honey, I start dragging them out. So it means that they draw them out a bit further. But for now, just leave them like that. Nice and easy. Put the lid on. These guys should be fine for a little bit longer. So this is the queen that I wanted to make more queens from, just because her mother was so amazing. But we'll have to see. I gave her another box last week just to see what she'd get up to. It was foundation, so I'm curious to see if they've drawn it out like the other hives have over there. It's been a week, so let's have a look. So looking at it, they haven't done a single thing. They're not even up here. Interesting. Smells humid. So maybe this colony wasn't ready for more space. They are. Very full of honey though. I've definitely got the brood. Got the eggs, got eggs. I can smell something. It's not a bad smell, it's just not a normal smell. So when you're doing beekeeping, you want to use all of your senses. Okay, okay, yeah. So this is because this box was full of mouldy pollen. So what they've done is they've cleared it up and they've started creating brood in here. But what that means is that they're not going up top because they think they've got enough space. So let's have a quick look, see if I can see any queen cells. Can't see any queen cells. I've seen eggs. So they've got everything, they just need to move up into the space. So how do you bring the bees up into a box full of foundation if they are unwilling to do so? The trick of doing that is by finding a frame of larvae. So I'll just move this across. Pretty sure one of these frames will have larvae on. This is capped brood and honey. It's getting pretty full. Ooh, there's a lot of drone brood. Unfortunately, I left my fork in my car, so I can't do another sacrificial brood. Yes, that's honey. Okay, so can't find larvae. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to try and checkerboard using the foundation and using these frames. It might mess them up a little bit, but we're wanting them to sort of spread out because I don't want them to get to a stage where they are feeling pressured into swarming. Ah, that's what it is. It's moisture. That's what I'm smelling. So some of these frames are swelling because they've got humidity to them, and the where the frames are is full of water. So how's that happened? Maybe I didn't put the lid on properly. There we go. Right, so I'm going to take half the frames out here and transfer some of the frames in, preferably honey ones, so they get the idea that this is for brood. Another reason why I'm dubious about making this queen produce more queens is because the bees are very clingy. So they're not stingy at the moment, but they are clinging to me and holding on. So. Right, we've got some larvae there. So I'm going to shake the bees off this one. Check for the queen. Can't see her, so shake her off. I'm going to put this here, right in the centre. Foundation on the side. I'll grab a few more frames, probably just 20 frames. That's a honey frame. Ooh, that's a heavy honey frame. Let's put you in. Shake him off. Small brood. Lovely larvae. Put that in this box as well. So the larvae will draw the nurse bees up, and bees hate foundation to be right up against the brood. They just hate it. So what you do is you wind them up by putting foundation right up against the brood. In essence, newer honey frame, I think. So I'll stick you in here. Okay. So now we put these in here next to the honey. So if they have any frames with open honey, so not actually capped yet, they will sometimes digest that and use that as the energy they need to produce more wax to draw out a frame. It's a good way of getting foundation drawn out early in the year if you've got an excess of, say, syrupy frames, so frames with lots of syrup in. So you just bruise the honey by just squishing it like that and break open those cells, and the bees come and they lap it up, and then they realise that next door they haven't got any comb in the frames, so they go, oh god. Right guys, let's get on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so there's 11 frames there. Okay, watch out guys. So some of these frames are looking very dark. I'm not really a fan of dark frames. That means that the moisture has got to them at some point. Right, so we're just going to stick this on. And it's kind of checkerboarded with the foundation, and hopefully the bees will come up. They'll see the foundation, they'll go, we don't want that next to our larvae, and they'll start drawing it out. This helps me in two ways. One, as I said, oilseed rape is nearby. I do not want them storing that honey, so they'll use all the nectar that they produce to produce more wax. And two, it gets those frames drawn out. Drawn out honeycomb is absolutely priceless. It is the best thing to have. It's more expensive than honey is. It's so useful for the bees. So it's a resource that you want to make sure that you've got lots of as a beekeeper. Now, this one had the supersedure queen in it. Ugh. So what we're going to do is we're going to check for eggs. We're not going to look for the queen, we're just going to look for eggs. Now these guys, oh my god, they've built in the roof. You can see there. So they have definitely run out of space. So we may not be able to see any eggs because they've run out of space to actually produce eggs. So, but what I can do is have a look at this comb. Sometimes the queen will come up here if there's no space in the boxes below, and she will start laying. So, quick look, see if I can see her. Can't see her, so move this across, take this lid off. Yes, these guys are heaving. So we don't want to let them build comb in the roof. It can cause all manner of problems for you, especially when it comes to trying to find the queen. So I'm going to destroy all the comb that they've produced. But I can see eggs. So we have found an egg. So you can see that is an egg. So that means that the superseded queen has come back and she has started laying. Now the problem is that all the comb that she's laying in looks like a drone brood up top, so the only way I'll be able to see whether she's well mated is by going inside the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap that box here to try and get the bees in the box so I can get rid of this comb. I don't want the queen to be up here and then lost. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Get it right over the edge there. I'm going to go tap, 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 tap. 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 Hopefully, yes, the majority of the bees have now exited the comb. So, you can just blow it a little bit. Have a look. Yeah, so there's loads of eggs in this now. That's okay. So let's take this comb out. Now there are still bees in here, so I need to be very careful in case the queen is here. It's too bright to actually see the eggs. Yeah, there's loads of eggs on this. So the cells are so large that this is drone comb. So if a queen is not mated well, she will produce drones. So I'm going to have to tap this again. Get rid of the rest of these. Cool, watch out. Use this for that. And if she's only producing drones, it means the colony is doomed. Now, a good sign is that the bees aren't angry. So when the bees are doomed, they get very annoyed very easily and they fly at you and attack you. It could just be that this colony is calm, but it's good to check. So I'm just going to move this down here on top. And what we'll do is we'll go from bottom box up, which is the best way of doing double broods. That's very heavy. That is a very heavy box. Okay, let's break up some of these frames. They're very properlised down. Now, interestingly, there's not a lot of bees in this bottom box. So that is strange. Yeah. Right, so we have pollen. We have lots of honey, as you can see. Lots of honey around here, and there's pollen in the centre there. No eggs that I can see. I'll move that over here. So if there was eggs in the roof, chances are that the queen is in the top box, not this one. But we're just going to have a quick look. So there's space down here. There's just no eggs. So I'm right in the stream of my smoke, so I'm going to move that. So what I might have to do is a quick switcheroo of the boxes just to make them feel like they've got more space, because this is an empty frame. There's a bit of honey there, but that is completely empty, so... They've just decided to go up rather than fill the boxes they've got, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, so there's lots of space down here. So I'm going to finish inspecting this, I'm going to take this box off and just put it to the side and put this one as the bottom. I think I've already done a switch on this one to begin with, to be honest. Right, so I'm finding some drone brood. That isn't a good sign. Where's my torch? Can I bring it? Blast! I left my torch. You. So there's so many worker cells here that are completely untouched by nectar, by anything. But then if you look here, these here are worker cells that they have converted into drone brood, because you can see, because they're turning them into sort of like bullet shapes sticking out from the rest of the comb. So that is not a good sign. I'm going to keep going, but this looks like I may have a drone laying queen, which means that she didn't get mated properly, which is very annoying. Okay, I'm seeing a couple of eggs in worker comb now. It's only a couple though, it's not a lot. Okay, that's not good. Right, so this is going to honey now. So far, all I've seen is drone brood in worker cells as well. That is not a good sign. It could just be that the queen has come back and she doesn't know how to work her superpower yet, which is to lay 1 billion eggs in a day. So that could be the issue. I'm going to have a look in this top box. If this seems like it's going to be a drone laying queen, I need to find her and dispose of her. Then I either need to shake these bees out or give them another frame of brood that they can produce a queen with. Okay, oh thank God. Yeah. Right, so we've got some worker cells. That's great. I was not worried. You were the ones that were worried, not me. So we've got some worker brood. Don't worry about the fact that it's all higgledy-piggledy right now. Sometimes when a new queen gets started, she doesn't get the laying pattern right away. So, yeah. Oh my God. That would have been such a faff. Yeah, and there's eggs all over this, all over the centre of this. So, in the centre of here, that's where there's loads of eggs. That's good. Okay. Okay, that's good. And the next frame as well. I can see loads of the worker brood right here. Again, the pattern's not amazing. There. And there. But at least he's producing worker brood. And there's one emerging, two emerging here. So it means that they have been mated for at least a week. More than a week. Okay. So there's lots of nectar in between these brood frames. So it could just be that they are feeling a little bit starved of space. Let's have a look at you. This looks like an empty frame from above. This is why I need my torch. I'm just going to pull out a torch on my phone and see if I can see eggs in this frame. Oh good, there's lots of larvae in there. That's good. Panic over. I'm going to give these guys another super. They have got space, but for some reason they're building upwards, and I'm not sure why. So I'm just going to give them some space, and hopefully they can give the queen a bit more time to relax and get into the flow of things. So I'm going to go get a super. This comb's relatively clean. Just need to smoke them down a bit. They'll come up again. Okay, so that's good. So that is a successful queen mated. I thought that it'd be too early in the season for her to get mated well, but it turns out that she has laid up quite a bit of brood there. I'm going to keep an eye on her, just because the brood pattern's a bit crap. But other than that, I think she's doing okay. So this is the oldest queen I've got, and she's turned into a drone layer. I need to shake her out, and I'm going to shake her out over there in front of this colony. This is the strongest colony I've got in this area, so they should be able to deal with any incursion of nurse bees that are going to be going in there, and if the queen crawls in there and she's drone laying, they've already got a healthy queen, so they'll probably kill her off. So that's a good way of getting rid of a drone laying queen, if you can't find her. I'm going to do something else as well. I'm going to put that colony that was struggling because it was way too small for the space it was in. I put it in a nuke box. Now, I think they're still going to be struggling, even though they're in the nuke box now. So what I'm going to do is, when I shake these out, I'm going to put that nuke in its place. That means all the flying bees are going to come back and bolster it, because they'll think, oh, it's the same colony. So that's what we're going to try and aim for. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to move this on there, move the other one on there, get rid of the floor and put that in its place. Because the flying bees will come back to this spot. And there are a fair amount of flying bees. Right, let's get rid of this. Floor be gone. Right, my little nucleus. I'm just going to open you up and just make sure you're still kicking it, because otherwise this would be for naught. Let's have a look. There's a tiny little cluster of bees right in the centre there. They are still going. Hopefully the flying bees coming back will be able to bolster them and give them that little extra oomph that they need. Where have I put my hive tool? It's over there. I'm going to check the queen's still going. This honey looks nasty now. Oh, that honey's started to ferment. You can smell that. That stinks. I don't want them to have that at all. I'm going to get rid of that. It's horrible. What I might do is when I give them a quick check, I might give a frame of cat brood to these guys, as long as the queen's still alive. There's no point in doing it if the queen is not still going. So there's lots of pollen here. Pollen there, that's good. Oh, these guys, they're on the death. And the queen is still kicking it. And she's still trying to lay. I can't tell if this is water or nectar in here. She's still laying eggs though, and the cluster is trying their best to keep it alive. So I can already see flying bees coming here. So that's what we want to see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to the side. Well, I'm not actually, I'm going to leave it closed for now. And we'll get some cat brood from there in a second. Right. Let's get some cat brood from you first. Because once I've shaken bees, I do not want to have to open this up, because these guys will be angry. Defense mode. Tell you what, I'm going to put the lid on just to keep them warm, because that is such a small cluster. I do not want them dying. Right, so these guys have filled this top box with nectar and honey. That's over a queen excluder as well, so that's pure honey. That's incredible. Right. This is going to be a bit of an awkward one, I'm afraid, guys. Hope you're okay being where you are. I'll just have to describe what's going on from this distance. So they've pretty much filled that top box full of honey. That's incredible. Queen excluder. Okay. Now I'd put a fresh box in the middle. So let's see how they're doing with the box in the middle. This top one looks like it's got lots of honey in it. Let's have a look. I'm just going to open up one frame. Let's have a look at this. Oh, come on. Oh, that looks like brood, actually. Whoa. Lots of brood up here. And there's nectar in between the cells, so there's no way you'll be able to see that, but there's lots of brood up here. Okay, so I can actually see a lovely frame brood there, cat brood, that I'm going to offer to that new queen over there. Yes, that's a good frame of cat brood. You can possibly see it from where you are, I don't know. So I'm going to shake that off as best I can. I don't want any invading bees, really. But as you can see there, lovely frame of cat brood. Just give these guys a little bolster. Cynic in me says that these guys are not going to survive. I should just let them go. But the optimist in me is like, no, we can make these guys survive. We can save them. So I'm going to put some cat brood there. Hopefully that'll be emerging soon. I'm going to see if I can find any more brood that is emerging very soon. Remember, cat brood produces its own heat, so you don't have to worry too much about them getting too chilled unless it becomes a very cold night. And hopefully there'll be enough flying bees going back that they'll protect them. Ah, you flipper. And that is why I don't make queens from you anymore. Ow. Oh, that's a lovely frame of brood right there. Stealing that one. Now, you may be saying it's a bit of a waste. Ah, you flipper. Ow. Knock it off. There's a lovely frame of brood. So shake that off. And it's got some food on it as well, so hopefully Hopefully that'll give this small colony some extra oomph. Look at that, that's a lovely frame of brood there, and it's got plenty of food there, so hopefully this will help them get rid of this horrible stink. Come on, Queen, you better come through. Right. And you know what, because you stung me so many bloody times, I'm going to give you some mouldy frames to have to deal with. Yeah, that's how we go. Right. That's him. Another frame. So there's lots of brood up here, so that's good. What that means is if I put another box on top, they will go straight up into that box and start laying in that one as well. So that's what I want. What I don't want is you guys stinging me. Knock it off. Yeah. But in the time that I looked in there, they had lots of brood, lots of food. They are running out of space, and that's why I'm going to put another box on. Right. So I've given us some extra space. Check. Shouldn't take them that long to fill this full of brood and food and all sorts of manner things. I'm going to break you down into nucs if you carry on. Honestly. Right, remember when it comes to queen excluders, always put it so they're always concave upwards, like that. And then when you put the box on top, it'll press down the edges. That's a full box of honey. Ow! Did not appreciate that, guys. Did not appreciate it whatsoever. I'm going to give you some lodgers. Right, so now I've done that. And these guys are going to be getting a little influx of flying bees. Keep an eye on them. You'll start seeing more and more flying bees flying towards them. Just lock them in. This is my last attempt at keeping these guys alive, by the way, so let's hope it works. Right, so I'm going to need something to shake the bees onto when it comes to this. So shaking out, I find using 2 queen excluders going different directions is the best, because the hole is not big enough for the bees to get through, but it adds like a little ladder effect, so it means if you're going up an angle or anything like that, they'll be able to climb their way up, but they won't be able to fall through. There you are. Right, so I'm going to stick it here at the entrance. I feel like I need to wedge it somehow. There we go. Stick that there. That'll do. Right, so I've got a nice little landing pad for the shake out there. So what I'm going to do is take them out frame by frame, shake them out and put the frames there. Any flying bees will fly off and they'll come back into this one. Any that can't fly will march their way back in there. Nurse bees will be allowed in. Queens, on the other hand, will not. So let's give this a go. I think this colony is close to death anyway, to be honest. What I'll do is I'll shake him out and put the boxes in the shed over there to dry out a bit because they are a bit wet. Any bees that aren't falling off, just brush them off with your hand. I want anyone left behind. It's a shame, but bees rarely ever burn out. They just slowly peter away. No bees in that. Right, put this in the shed and then let it dry out. Right. There's where the majority of the bees are. So as you can see there, they were trying to produce a new queen here, but they can't because she's a drone laying queen, and it's just drones everywhere. It's a mess. They've ruined these frames really. What I might do is just take these home and melt them down, because there's no bringing them back really. Oh my dear, such a shame. Right, they're collecting lots of nectar and pollen, and you may see quite a bit of flying bees flying there now. So they're going in going, hey, everything's changed. This queen's laying. Wow, what's that like? Right, it's empty. Oh. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means the world to me. I think we've managed to do quite a bit in this episode. We have gone through the checkerboarded hive and it has failed, unfortunately. Bees love to prove you wrong. They love to do the opposite of what you want. So the fact it's failed does not surprise me. It's just really annoying. I've shown you how to make a very small split with the queen to allow a hive that wants to swarm to be able to create their own new queen. There are other methods of dealing with this, like demarré and stuff like that, but I do think that just doing a little split like that just makes things 10 times easier for you, especially if you know where the queen is and you can find her. Obviously, if you're having a hard time to find the queen, then the demarré is perfect. Just shake all the bees down into that fresh new box, put all the other boxes on top, and then you don't have to worry about it. Just look for queen cells and you're sorted. We've also had a look at the other hives as well. The spring flow has definitely hit my hives in Merseyside. What's it like for you guys where you are? That's something that I'm interested in finding out. I want to know where you are up to in the whole country. I know someone who's down south who's been in the next flow for the past month and a half, so they've had a really good time down in Cornwall. So what's it like near where you guys are now? Is it really strong or not? Let me know, put it in the comments. If you have any questions about anything you saw today, or say you've got some critiques, or say you've got some advice or something, please put it in the comments below. I will do everything in my power to answer them as quick as I can. If you've enjoyed this content, then please hit the like button. It helps me find more people who are interested in what I'm doing. If you really like it, then please hit the subscribe button and have a look at my back catalogue. I've got videos from the past year and a half, 2 years now actually I think. There's a lot of videos anyway. There's fact checks, there's inspections from the past few years. You can see where I was up to last year with around 70 colonies, all sorts. So if you're interested, please go have a look. I hope your inspections are going well and your spring flow is going as bountifully as mine is. I hope to see you guys next week. Bye bye.